Hey everybody, I wanted to also make a quick video here and talk to you guys a little bit more about universal life. Now when I'm talking about universal life, I mean how do we go out and how do we explain that concept at a glance? My personal opinion is, again, you'll notice that a lot of the things I do are drawing oriented because most of the people that I find that you meet and that you're going to see are very visual. You'll run across a few auditory people every now and again. You'll meet some kinesthetic people, but the majority of people that I've ever bumped into in my career are very visual people. And sometimes by having a visual tool, it'll help you do that. So let's go ahead and I'm going to explain universal life today in a little bit more detail to you guys so that you have this video that you can bring back. I want you to practice this. Universal life is one of our flagship products. Our most important product is our opportunity, of course. But when I'm talking about our financially speaking, our products for our clientele, this is one of the most used products that we have because it allows us to both combine protection as well as investment into the same one. So let's spend some time today. Let's talk about universal life. I'm going to walk through with you step by step exactly how I describe it when I'm at a kitchen table. So I take a piece of paper. Step one, I take a piece of paper, I turn it to landscape. And then what I do is I just simply, this is how I started, and I'm going to treat you guys just like a client here today. I'm going to be talking to you that way, so let's start. So Mr. and Mrs. Smith, basically universal life, it might sound a little bit awkward to begin with, but I like to call it a bit of an orange. Okay, so it's just like an orange. Now, an orange, as you probably know, has a peel on it. Okay, I mean, I'm sure you've had an orange before, and there's a peel around it. Now, the idea behind the peel on the orange is the peel is designed to protect the fruit. Okay, that's the whole point of the orange, and it protects it from birds and insects, so they really can't get at the good stuff. And obviously, nowadays, with us mostly being at grocery stores, not necessarily picking off orange trees, it also helps, save from the kids sneezing on it at Safeway or whatever. But anyhow, so there's two parts to it. Okay, with universal life, there's two components to it as well. With an orange, there's a peel, and then of course there's the fruit. With universal life, there's insurance, and then there's also investment. Now, let's say, for example, this person's putting in $100 a month into their universal life account. And again, I'm just kind of pulling a number out of thin air here, but let's say they're putting $100 in. Generally speaking, $20 is going to go to that insurance portion, and $80 is going to go to the investment portion. Okay? So, the insurance is kind of like the peel on the orange, and the investment is like the good stuff. The investment is like the fruit of the orange. That's all the money right here. Okay? So, remember before I told you that the peel protects the fruit from birds and insects. So what would the insurance protect the investment from? Because if the insurance is like the peel on the orange and the investment is like the fruit, what does the insurance protect the investment from? And the answer is, it actually protects it from the government. You see, the government cannot actually see past this peel over here to tax any of this money. So all this money that you put inside this account is allowed to grow and grow and grow, and you don't pay any taxes on it. Okay? Now imagine here you have this big syringe. So you got a plump orange, you take a big syringe and it's all filled with orange juice, and you pop it into the plump orange and you give it one of those. Now you put way more juice than what's supposed to be in there. So as soon as you give it that whack, what's going to happen to the orange? It's going to explode. Okay? See, just like in RSPs, in universal life there are limits. There's only so much that you can put in. So if you put in too much money inside this account, you just fill it up with lots of cash, eventually it's going to explode. And part of that money actually ends up falling outside of those rules and regulations. If that happens, the government gets really happy. They can tax this money, but they cannot tax any of the money that's inside your universal life account. So obviously, when you stay within the rules, we want to make sure that's the case. But then people come and say, well, you know what, Cameron? I've had this orange with you now. So people, when they get to retirement, they've had this policy, this orange, they call it. They always call it the orange. But I've had this account for the last 20 years, and let's say that they've got, I don't know, $400,000 sitting inside this account. Okay? So they have $400,000, $500,000, whatever the number is sitting inside here, and they go, well, now I'm ready to retire, so what do I do? How do I live on this? Well, this is what I recommend them do. I say, go down to the bank, and I want you to get this form signed. It's a collateralized agreement. And they say, Cameron, why am I signing a collateralized agreement? I have $400,000 right here, so why would I sign something as collateral? Like, I don't understand. I say, well, here's why we're going to do that. We're going to use your policy as collateral. because that's $400,000. And every single year, the bank is going to give you a loan for, let's say, I don't know, $40,000. And they're going to do that every single year until the day you die. Now, the bank's not going to do that for free. They charge you an interest rate, okay? But they're going to just run a tab on you. They don't want your money. Now, again, the person's saying, Cameron, why am I getting a loan for $40,000 a year from the bank? I've got 400 grand right there. I can just take that. I say, yes, you can, but here's what I want you to remember. If we borrow money in Canada, do we pay tax on borrowed money? Like if you max out a credit card for $10,000, do you pay income tax on that $10,000? Or if you get a car loan for $80,000, do you pay income tax on that $80,000? And the answer is no, you don't. You do not pay taxes on borrowed money in Canada. So now, if you're getting a loan from the bank, isn't that tax-free money? Absolutely. So now you're living on tax-free money. But eventually the day will come when you pass away. And let's say that this person's situation, they pass away at age 80. If that's the case, they have all these years that they've maybe started at 65, they have all these years of all this borrowed money and interest that the bank has asked them for. So let's say in total, they might owe the bank $2 million. However, remember how they use this as collateral? They were not actually withdrawing the $400,000, were they? And of course they were not. So that means that between 65 and 85, that $400,000 has been sitting there, growing, doing the Rule 72. So over that period of time, let's say that now this person just has double. Again, I'm kind of making these numbers up. But let's say over here they owe the bank $2 million, but they've got $4 million inside their investment account, and now they die. Well, in Canada, insurance benefits are also deemed to be tax-free. So an example, if you're driving on the freeway and somebody rams you from behind and you end up suing them and your insurance company pays you out a benefit of $30,000 for your accident, you don't pay taxes on that money, do you? No, because insurance benefits are also tax-free. So here what ends up happening, you guys, is that now the person dies. $4 million gets paid out. But remember, we have an agreement that says, hey, we know that you kept the tab on us, and thank you for the $40,000. We got to pay the bank back first. But now we're left over with a bit of an issue here. Now we have $2 million. Well, for most families, if they have 2 children, I always recommend that the kids also have their own universal life account. Children can have their own universal life account from when they're 15 days old, assuming they're in good health. So maybe $1 million goes to this child and $1 million goes to this child. If $400,000 or $500,000 paid us $40,000 a year, what do you think $1 million is going to pay the kids? Anywhere between $80,000 to $100,000 a year. So here's the overall point of this. Within the universal life account, the first thing that you get is you get insurance, which is able to protect you. Most families need insurance anyway, but they hate wasting their money on term insurance because they know that they're never going to get any value out of that. It's like car insurance. If you use it, use it. If you don't, it's just a waste of money. But here, they know that they have life insurance and they need it. They're going to have it for the rest of their life. It's a permanent policy. But you get to save your money. It grows tax-free, okay? Tax-deferred. It grows and grows and grows and no taxes are applied. Then you can live on your money without paying any tax. And even when you die, all the money that got paid off here that's left over, all that money goes tax-free to your loved ones. So you grew it tax-free, you lived on it tax-free, and you pass it to your children tax-free. This is one of the very few accounts in Canada, that's actually one of the only accounts that you can actually grow it tax-free, live on it tax-free, and pass it on tax-free. However, most people don't know about it because most banking institutions do not sell this product, do not educate families on it, because it's illegal for them to do so. You have to be licensed by the government in order to do this. So now, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, let me show you exactly what I made for your universal life account, and let's kind of flip the page over here and I'll give you your example. So let's stop there. You guys, a lot of times I'll be coming back and I'll explain this right before I actually show them their policy. So if I have a carryback, and I have on there that I'm making a recommendation towards universal life. The first appointment that I go into, I might not really get into a whole bunch of detail on this. I might not. If I do, great, but if I don't, I'm going to come back, and when I go to show them their universal life, I'm quickly going to explain this first on the back of the policy, on the back of the illustration, and I quickly draw this out. The other thing that you can do for universal life, you guys, when it comes to explaining about the benefits of it is this. I'm just going to quickly erase this, and hopefully you guys can stick in here. The other part of universal life that's really unique is the fact is this, is that we're going to call this line your retirement. Okay, that's what this line is going to represent. Now, basically, all money that you save. So, for example, you save money and you accumulate it. Let's take, for example, RRSPs. You save and save and save. You make a rate of return, and then you get to retirement. And the only way to get the money out is obviously you have to redeem it. So then you start taking money out and you start to decrease your wealth. Okay? So you grow money and then you decrease your wealth. Open money. You grow it, you get to retirement, and then you decrease it. That's how you live on it. Tax-free savings accounts. Same deal. Grow your money, and you have to take it out. But universal life is different. You see, because universal life, you can grow your money, and you can accumulate it, but you don't actually take it out in retirement. It's allowed to keep growing and making a rate of return because we use it as collateral. So every other investment product that you have, you're going to have to use it in retirement and decrease wealth. But universal life, because of the loan strategy that we employ, it actually can continue to grow even through your retirement. So this way, every dollar that could possibly be making you compounding interest continues to make you compounding interest. So there's no other product that I can offer you. RSPs, open money, tax-free savings accounts, or none of them will do that, but universal life will. That's another reason why universal life is definitely one of the better ways to be saving money as compared to all the other ones, especially when just factoring tax consequences. So anyway, you guys, I hope that'll help you explain universal life and be a little bit more effective with your clients. Have a good one.